Hello everyone, and welcome back to this very autumnal day of decluttering the kitchen and deep cleaning the kitchen. This kitchen was never designed to house 4 to 5 people as it's trying to do at the minute. It's grimy, it doesn't work well, and there's too much stuff in this tiny space. So I'm going to take everything out, clean it all back, get rid of the stuff we don't use, the stuff we don't need, and give it a deep clean as we go through. So I want to make sure that everything smells fantastic and is sterilised, clean and antibac as best as I can get it. So I'm two-phase cleaning, fairy washing up liquid, and then peppermint Ziflora, that's in that white spray bottle you see me keep using. Now this knife and fork drawer used to be filled with, as you saw at the beginning, just loads of stuff. So we've got our sharp knives, 5 spoons, 5 forks, 5 knives and 3 teaspoons. One for tea, one for coffee, one for hot chocolate. And the 5 knives, forks and spoons are because there are 5 people. So there will be no more using hundreds of knives, forks and spoons and leaving them all over the house, including bedrooms. Now, see that mould on that rolling pin? This is why I'm deep cleaning this cupboard. Our whole back wall is covered in mould. You can't see it because there is a fascia on the back of the cabinet here, but if I zoomed in on the wall, the gap above it, you would see it. So I'm going to give this cupboard a thorough cleaning and remove anything we don't use on a regular basis, because as far as I'm concerned, this is just collecting mould spores and isn't going to be safe to use. So we need things that are regularly being brought out of here, washed up, used, and don't have time to sit in here collecting mould spores. So again, I'm going in with the fairy liquid, giving it a good scrub, getting it all soapy, getting those dirt, mark and mould bits off, and then I'm going to go back in with the peppermint Ziflora and give it a good spray down. I'm also, like I say, making doubly sure that every bit of water is dried and wiped up, so there's nothing to encourage mould growth in these cupboards. Now I'm not sure if you can see, I've tried to brighten this image as much as I can, but you can just about see the amount of mould we're dealing with on that back wall. You can see where the fascia ends and then the cupboard becomes this open void at the back, and that mould is thick on that back wall. It probably goes all the way back down to the floor. There's no way of knowing without ripping the cupboards out. Another landlord doesn't want to do that. So for now, we're just going to have to try our best to put up with the mould and try and treat it as best we can. I'm going to take everything out of this cupboard as well, which is just the top shelf of what you saw before. So it's the same cupboard. In here we've got far too many plates, far too many bowls and way too many cups. In this house the habit seems to be, if something's dirty, instead of washing it up, grab yourself a new one. We don't need to be doing that anymore. We have mountains of washing up and none of this stuff gets used. So it's all coming out like the stuff below, so it doesn't collect mould, and it means that if you need something, you'll have to wash it up. Instead of having 8-10 plates dumped around everywhere, you will have 1 plate, you will have 1 bowl, and you will have 1 side plate. And it will get washed up and reused. I don't see why we need hundreds of plates stacked up on the side, waiting for one of us to get round to wash it. It just seems more practical just to have 5 of everything. And actually, it's made a lot more space in this cupboard. This cupboard you can't get to the bit I just showed you around that corner, because this door here leads to as you can see, this bit, but it's like a corner cabinet, and there is no access to this far back corner that you can see here without any great ease. So it seems pointless to have stuff stuffed back there. Now, I love this. I hooked all my utensils onto the door. However, we have an electric whisk, and this potato masher we've got that you just saw is absolutely hopeless. Why are we keeping these things? We don't use them. So the door's getting a good clean down, and the whisk and the potato masher that we never use are going to go in the recycling, so the metal and can be recycled. I'm going to buy a new potato masher, one that will actually work and serve our needs better than that one we had before, which was just hopeless. So yeah, I am going to leave them hung on the doors on these hooks that I just screwed into the door myself. But look at that. So much less clutter, so much less stuff to get in the way, and so much less stuff to be used. And that's the cupboard sorted. Easy, clean, efficient, and now smells beautiful. Unfortunately, while I've been doing that, the rest of the kitchen has descended into chaos because I've just been dumping stuff randomly on the sides everywhere. This tea coffee station that I built is actually a shoe rack that I got from B&M, I believe, and we've been using it as a tea coffee rack. However, everything gets dumped on here and it just collects dust underneath it. It looks horrible, it needs cleaning down, so I'm getting rid of it. This tea and coffee station was supposed to be this beautiful Instagram ready tea and coffee station. I had half pint glasses on here, 6 of them, so guests could have a glass of water. I had glass teacups for guests, marbled coffee mugs and latte hot chocolate glasses, all for guest use. However, as I said before, when something was dirty in this house, instead of wash something up, these glasses got used. We never had any for guests, and we just had mountains of washing up. So I'm taking them all away, and we won't have them anymore. As you can see, the tea coffee station shelves were also hiding this awful muck. I don't know what it is or how it got there. I'm guessing some sort of dust, because nothing was spilled underneath the tea coffee station, and I don't see how it got dirty, so it must be some form of dust. Either way, having that in the kitchen is not really hygienic, so a nice big soapy mess, and I'm going to get it all cleaned up and smelling gorgeous again. Fairy liquid and peppermint zaflora, perfect combination to make everything smell wonderful. Cleaning the kettle and putting it back, I did notice that this cable was extremely long. It does not need to be that long, so I'm just going to wind it back under the kettle plate stand thing, I don't know what that thing's called, and shorten that cable. We don't need it half that long, so there you go. I will be doing a restock of my tea, coffee and sugar jars later on in the video, so those will be going back there as soon as they have been washed, cleaned and restocked, ready to go back. For now, all the cups that we don't use, that I've taken out of the cupboards and off of the tea coffee station, are all going to be put away Somewhere safe, because some of them don't belong to me, like these Monster Zinc mugs. These are my daughter's, and the guest cups are going to be staying. We're just going to be keeping them in storage. If a guest comes down to stay, I can get one out. I've also kept one in the house for regular visitors like my dad and my sister, who come down regularly enough that they should have their own mugs in this house. So they have been put away somewhere safe and secure. No one knows where they are but me and my husband, which means they won't get dragged out and used. So they will be there, ready for when they come to visit, and they can have a welcoming cup of tea, coffee or hot chocolate in their very own mugs that will stay in the house secure.
Can you tell by the aimlessly wandering backwards and forwards that I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed at this point? I don't know where to put everything, and it's just a bit so I'm slowly picking through the mess, trying to find somewhere to put everything so I can actually start cleaning again, because just overwhelm. Okay, this video has taken me so long to make. I am now suffering from some sort of cold, flu, lurgy. So I'm going to sound really nasally, probably for the rest of this video, but here we go anyway. I'm now going to soak, these straws have been soaked, so they're going to need a rinse out. They don't get used that often, and I dread to think what is lurking in the deep, dark depths of these reusable straws. They're a great idea, but what is in them? So they're getting washed out. That is really hot tap water coming out of there, and then I'm going to drain them. I'm at the moment starting to lose the will to keep this battle going with this kitchen, but you know, I'm going to keep going, and I do keep going, as you'll see if you keep watching. It does take me more than just today to get it done though, and I thought I would have it done in one day. I was a little bit delusional. Thankfully though, because I have now tidied out the kitchen and we only have 5 of everything, because there's only ever a maximum of 5 of us here, it means cleaning the kitchen in future won't be such a pain in the backside, and by the time I've finished, everything else will be cleared away too, which means unless we actually use it, it's gone, it's going, I'm not having it, no more, gone, bye bye. When I clean out the cupboards, I'm going to make sure that anything we have in there that we can still use, I'm not just going to waste and throw away. I am going to get it out and make it more visible. So while we don't use it a lot and could do with having it out of the way, we're actually going to use it rather than waste it. I can't stand wasting stuff. I am pretty sure you don't want to see me washing up forever, so do you know what? Through the magic of editing, let's skip a bit ahead. If you do want to see me washing up forever, then by all means, let me know and I'll post a longer clip. But for now, let's skip ahead. And through the wonders of editing, here we are. The last part of the jobs for the day is going to be clearing off this corner. Excellent. A butter box that's been used and just left there. That's going to need washing up for recycling. Yay! More washing up. There's probably a ton more under here somewhere, but again, with the magic of editing, I am going to cut that out. There is no room in these cupboards because they're so badly organised. As you just saw, the bottle of orange nearly knocked me out. So I'm going to have to definitely get in those cupboards and sort them, which is fine because I wanted to do that anyway. Yeah, so I desperately have to try and find some organisation. Look, see, even now I'm getting bored of doing the blooming washing up. I'm sick of it. I'm getting a dishwasher. Do you know what? Yes, 2024, dishwasher is coming back to our household. I'm going to get a little countertop one so we can just wash up our little plates and cups, and I no longer have to be elbow deep in dishwater. This food processor thing I brought is useless. There is a massive gap between the lid and the cheese gratey thing, so you just end up with this ball of cheese. Alright, yes, it does grate some, but you just end up with a ball of cheese that you can't use or do anything with is completely pointless. I hate it. So I'm going to get a different cheese grater thing. And for like mixing stuff, we've got the electric mixer. I know what I'm trying to say. I was absolutely horrified at the mess under this microwave. I don't understand how dust, dead bugs, and some weird sticky, I don't know what it was, got underneath there. How does dust get under things? I just don't understand. You see it floating through the air in that little sunbeam, and it sort of floats down like snow. Now, unless there's a massive wind, you don't get snow underneath the car. The car protects the ground from the snow and the rain. How does the dust get under the microwave? Anybody explain that to me? Anybody have a clue? I just don't know. My plan was to put all this stuff away and then clean down the cooker. Unfortunately, sickness got the better of me, and this was about all I could manage for the rest of this day. So I just cleaned this off and we'll carry on again tomorrow, hopefully. I'm tired of having bits of packaging everywhere, so although I'm not filling these jars, I am going to take these things, top them up into the jars they belong to, and throw the packaging away, so we've not just got stuff littered everywhere. So while the cupboards are empty, before we do the shop, I am going to give them a good clean out. Now, I couldn't film it because of the angle of the cupboards, but I did clean them all out and reorganise them, so they're much more efficient now. And I think they look good. Now I'm going to deep clean the washing machine. I was given a tip for this. What's it called? White vinegar. So I've got some in a spray bottle from Star Drops here. You soak toilet paper and put it on the areas of mould. Now I have tried scrubbing this with all sorts of mould remover, and trust me when I tell you, it doesn't come off easy, and sticking your hand in that little hole hurts when you're trying to scrub it off. So we're going to try this. That is a disgusting blob of mould. So everything is getting soaked in white vinegar overnight in the sink and in that little drawer as you saw, and we shall see in the morning just how well this does. Literally, this is the first time I've tried it. I have got no clue how this is going to work. It could be awful, it could be brilliant. So we're going to find out together whether this is great or not. As you can see by the build up in the fabric softener drawer, I haven't pre-soaked this, pre-washed it, nothing. Just wrapped it in the toilet paper, sprayed it with vinegar. It was just after 10:15 at night when we did this, and on to the next morning. Well, next afternoon as it is now, as I didn't wake up until quite late in the day. But anyway, let's go and see how well this worked. So, fingers crossed. I was a little disappointed when I realised that there was mould still under here. I kind of thought I'd pull off the toilet paper and it would just be like, oh, clean. Doesn't quite work like that. However, I will say this works really, really well. I'm just wiping it with wet toilet paper, and as you can see, it's just coming off so easily. It was just like wiping dust off of a flat surface. this stuff come off so easy. And this mould has been building up for ages, and there's like leftover residue from the soap powder. It got that off as well. I mean, white vinegar, guys. Soak your toilet paper, wrap your drawer in white vinegar and leave it overnight, and it just comes off so easily. I cannot fault it. Absolutely brilliant, and no real harsh cleaning chemicals, so all the better. You know, if something accidentally touches that, or a kid happens to touch it, it's not going to be great for them. You know, I don't suppose getting white vinegar on your clothes would be great, but it shouldn't do anybody any major harm. So pluses all round. I can't rate this stuff highly enough. Anyone who's had the joy of cleaning inside one of these drawer bits knows how painful it is and how much scrubbing there is involved. But as you can see in a little while, after we've pulled all of the vinegar soaked toilet paper off, this stuff, the mould, just wipes away so easily. With the wet tissue, you can just whoop and wipe it off. I grab a sponge and just try and give it a bit of an extra scrub, not that it needed it, but that sponge is so old it's leaving behind little bits of the scrubby, scoury bit on the top. So in a sec I'll just grab a microfiber cloth and give it a wipe down. But yeah, definitely so much easier than shoving your hand in there and scrubbing for goodness knows how long to get very little result. Absolutely wonderful. If I was going to make any changes, I would just get like a bottle of plain water and spray that in, just to help wash off all the little bits of fluff and debris. But other than that, I can't fault it, can't complain. White vinegar. The door and the rubber gasket also get a bit grimy, so I'm going to go over with the white vinegar again. Just give it a quick scrub up and try and help the Dr. Beckman's, I think it's called, washing machine cleaner. Just getting all those nooks and crannies that I know that won't get into when I run a cleaning cycle on the machine. I'm actually surprised how dirty the washing machine gasket actually is. It really needed a good scrub, and I didn't think it would get that dirty, being that it doesn't come into contact with the dirty clothes, so apparently it does. And while that's doing its thing, it's time for me to deep clean the fridge. Now, thankfully, we don't have a lot in here either, so it's going to be a nice, fairly quick and easy job. I'm also going to turn the fridge down, or up, depending. I'm going to turn it to number 1. It is currently on number 6, and when I cleaned the inside of the fridge, literally the water froze to the back and side of the fridge. So it's clearly way too cold. So I'm going to turn it to number 1, and we'll keep an eye on the temperature and make sure that actually it's still maintaining a nice cool temperature to keep the food safe, but isn't eating the electric, making it into a freezer rather than a fridge. No one needs that. Oh, I did find this thing. That goes down the back to keep the drip chute thing clean. As you can see, that was quite mouldy, so that's going to go and soak in some, not apple cider vinegar, some white vinegar. And that should come back clean, and then when I've done that I can pop it back in the fridge. Okay, so all the shelves nice and clean, everything is back in. Look how pretty that looks now. just got to do these door handles. Because our fridge is under the counter, every time you wipe the countertops off, this little tray here just collects grime and gunge. So I'm going to give that a good spray and good wipe out. The sugar's stuck on this as well, so it's really hard to get it off. I have been putting this job off for as long as humanly possible, and it shows. But it's now time to clean the dreaded oven. There are people that pay, no, they don't pay you to do this, you pay them to do it. And believe me, if I could afford one of these lovely people, I would have them in my home and get them to clean this oven for me. It drives me wild. I hate cleaning it. And it's that old even once you've cleaned it. Doesn't look clean. So I am going to clean it, but don't be surprised when it still looks grufty by the end of it. I love the pink stuff paste. Look at what a job it's done. And it's so easy to use and get all the stuff off. I can't change the fact that the glass has changed colour with the heat, and I do need a glass blade to scrape some of the extra rubbish off. But it's done a pretty good job. So far, so good. Now, the stainless steel is obviously brushed stainless steel, and is it pain. If you scrub it in the wrong direction to get the muck off, you notice it. So I'm going to use the pink stuff paste and my little sponge and just scrub in the direction of the grain of the stainless steel. Hopefully that way I can scrub off the muck and bits of apparently rust. I didn't know stainless steel could rust. But anyway, we're going to scrub it off with the pink stuff paste in the direction of the grain, and hopefully that should fix everything. On this side, I get a little bit too carried away and it does scrub off some of the numbers. But do you know what? That's fine. I know when it's there, it's that hot, and I don't need the numbers there. So it's fine. So the sides of my oven where the oven shelves go do actually come out. However, the one on the left-hand side just will not budge. So I'm not arguing with it. It's going to stay in there. And just one side will be clean. It's the best I can do. So I'm just going to spray the bottom now quick with some oven cleaner, and then while that is working its magic, we're going to do the shelving racks. Now I just used some really hot tap water, some soda crystals and the soap filled scouring pads, kettle of boiling water, and this stuff will just come off like, whoa, so easy, so quick, and hardly any scrubbing, so that's a bonus. What kitchen clean wouldn't be complete without the deep clean of the sink? So I'm just going to go in and scrub with fairy liquid, rinse that all down, and then dry it with the tea towel, bath with a microfiber cloth. Lastly, I'm going to take my fantastic white vinegar spray, just get that on there to get any lime scale removed, and again buff with a microfiber cloth. Kitchen is due for a major redecoration, overhaul and refit. So these horrible tiles that I did try and paint are just going to have to stay horrible tiles for now, and hopefully one day they'll get replaced. That was just boiling hot water down the sink, followed by a capful of my favourite peppermint Zaflora, so the kitchen smells wonderful. We're just going to finish cleaning off the sides, put everything where I want it, and then we're going to do the bins. What a fun job. A couple of kettles of hot water in each bin, the flash floor cleaning stuff. This works brilliantly in the bins. It breaks down the grease, grime, and leaves them smelling wonderful. So I'm just going to give them a nice white browned antibacterial, lovely smell. All the I's and T's and whatever crossed and ticked and dotted. Fantastic bin cleaning. And here's Woody ready to help sweep the floor and get the last few jobs done. So I'm going to sweep it, then I'm going to mop, and then I will get the steam mop out just to help lift some of the stains and get rid of the last little bits of hair and stuff. Then I do have to deep clean the doormats. And then I will finally be done. This has been one long project, but I'm so pleased with the results. Doormats are going to get a 3-phase cleaning, so I'm going to sweep them off, then steam them as you saw. Now the steam mop is actually going to help release some of the dirt and the dog hair that's caught in these fibres. Then I shave them. Well, that's what I call it. I use this handy little tool to get all the dog hair out, and you can see there is a ton of it. Then I'm going to go over it with my shark just to get any loose debris and hair out. And then my trusty Vax carpet shampoo. This thing is amazing. It puts down so much foam and it scrubs so well, and it gets everything up lovely and clean and smells beautiful. So I'm going to go over that real slowly. I know it's sped up, but I am going really quite slowly to try and draw all the muck and the grime out, ready for the winter and more muck and grime. But yeah, for now it's all clean, and you can see just how much muck and grime it's pulled out. Just look at that. This next clip has some strobing effect in it from the overhead strip light, so if you're sensitive, look away. I'm cleaning the window now here. For those of you looking away, I'm cleaning the window. I've got a long reach pole because our kitchen window is behind the sink and the units, and you just can't reach. And if you climb on the units, you end up on the draining board, and that puts a dent in the draining board. It's just a hole to do. So I've got a applicator on a long pole so I can clean up high and give the windows a really good clean. So that's all I'm doing now. Yeah, like I say, there is some strobing in this, and I don't quite understand why. Perhaps it's because I'm filming out into the garden and the outside and the inside are confusing it, but who knows. So I will let you know when you are safe to look back. What really jiggers me is, from this angle, you can't really see how dirty the windows are. Which, in one aspect, I suppose is fantastic. My windows look clean no matter how dirty they are. But for a cleaning video, you kind of want to see it dirty and then clean, really. Although for those of you looking away who are probably just enjoying the music, it doesn't matter to you really how dirty or clean they are. So, oh well, we're nearly finished anyway, so stay with it. I try to be fancy here by cleaning like the pro window cleaners, you know, doing like that little up, down, sidey swish of the blade, the scrim or whatever that thing's called. Yeah, and it goes about as well as my voiceover. I haven't done that for years, since I was a child. My dad is a window cleaner by trade and he taught me how to do it. Clearly, it's not like riding a bike. You do forget how to do that with the window cleaner thingy. For those of you looking away, you are now safe to look back. Finally, we're at an end. The kitchen is clean, it smells great, it's been decluttered, it does need redecorating, but that is a job for another day. I really hope you've enjoyed this deep cleaning of my kitchen and will join me again for another cleaning video. Nice, peaceful, relaxing, clean